Oh, 50! Kelsey! Let's fucking go, dude! Oh my god! 420 no scope. Wait, 360. Oh my god, look at my face. Oh! Ah! It's my birthday!
Say happy birthday to me!
Symphony. A symphony hall. A symphony. It was probably the longest, I just said lesbian! It was the longest lesbian I've ever had! Wait, did I win? Because I'm doing this dope walk? Wish you would step off from that ledge, my friend. Off? Back! Step back! Don't step off the ledge! Oh, lit bingo. Oh, lit! Just like, oh, it's like lit. Like, lit. I showed you how to do this. It's this one, the end stream.
Oh. Bye.
Holy smokes, and welcome back to the KerbKast, everybody. Ribs Torino, thank you so much for that raid, my dude. I saw a lot of wonderful, lovely people here in the chat, and I'm so freaking excited to introduce our guest today. Today, we are going to be... Whoa, cool graphics! You're cool. Okay, I gotta stop looking at chat. So, friends, a couple things, what do we call that? Things that will be happening in the stream. So I will have limited visibility to chat. So we won't be able to keep eye on chat like we normally do. We are going to be interviewing today, as you saw, about the amazing channel trailer, WATCHHOLLIE, horror game streamer, streams every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also raise a lot of awareness for mental health, streams for the Insomniacs, one of my favorite places on Twitch, if I'm being absolutely honest. So today, we're going to go right into that. We're going to be talking about quite a few things, how she started streaming, her path to partner. We're also going to be talking about being a female streamer on Twitch. So without further ado, let me introduce my amazing guest, WATCHHOLLIE. Holly, can we just make sure everyone can hear you?
Yeah, hello!
How are you today? It's so good to have you. Welcome on. I'm so honored that you decided to take me up on this project.
Oh my god, what are you talking about? No, I'm blessed that you asked me. I love these type of things.
And I love, so just to give the chat a little bit of history. So I've been following you for a fairly long time. A lot of my chat will recognize you from raids that we've done. I love that you're a late night streamer. I love that you're a horror game streamer. But why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you, introduce yourself, what you do, what you're all about.
Yeah, so I'm WATCHHOLLIE. I'm a horror game streamer. I stream Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I stream late at night for a reason. I start at 8 p.m. Because I can't sleep. So that's been my whole basis through this whole thing is start at 8 p.m., go all the way until 1 a.m., 4 a.m., depending on your time zone. And it's just kind of like I stream for Insomniacs throughout the whole process. I stream for mental health awareness. And yeah, I want you to feel always noticed. So that's always been my goal. We have the chat in slow mode purposefully so I can read every single message, hopefully, and just kind of like be one big family. That's the whole goal.
I freaking love it. I freaking love it. It's so fun. I'm so hyped to have you on. Speaking of, you are recently partnered. So we're going to get a ton of congratulations to you. And also recently a full-time streamer. So you finally decided to go absolutely full time. So what made you, so that's kind of where we are now, but why don't we kind of go back to the very beginning? What made you start? Why streaming? What made you hit that go live button for the first time?
Yeah, so the very beginning was flashback to when I was a child. I loved video games, right? Oh shit. Oh no.
Flashback.
Someone followed me. I'm so sorry.
That's totally okay.
Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so my whole thing is I've always loved video games, and when I big boy, thank you. So I didn't have a console, and I didn't have like anything that I could play video games on after like the initial GameCube, and so I started YouTube when I got a little bit older. And then I could have some more time because in high school and college I had no time. I couldn't play games, so I watched people. NerdCubed and Markiplier were my two favorite people to watch, and I would just watch their playthroughs on YouTube. And so I started out on YouTube first because I was like, "Ooh, this will be great." Like I feel like I could do what they do and have a good time. And it was awful, and everyone was so mean. All the people that did comment. Yeah, like anyone that did comment, like, was just butt heads, and it was just like, oh Lord. And so when pandemic happened, I'd already been like on YouTube for about like probably a year, maybe 2 years. Um,
And
and
just to
I
clarify,
like
do you
kind of
mean
like
YouTube Live or do you mean making YouTube videos?
no, just made YouTube videos,
Okay.
and yeah, and I kind of just like gave up on the whole thing, and then I went to Twitch, and it just kind of just like took off. And the reason why I went to Twitch is because pandemic happened. So I was just like didn't have a job, I didn't have anything to do. Like we were like do not step outside. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's all I could do, and that's what I did. I streamed every single day. Um and just I just full sent. Was that the question?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was what made you start?
Okay.
What made you
What made me
start?
start? There it is.
So
Okay.
you start off on YouTube making YouTube videos. Are those still
Mhm.
around? Like, I know that you
No.
started doing a podcast yourself, where you're also
did.
interviewed in like 70 other streamers, which is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So definitely go check out WATCHHOLLIE's YouTube channel as well. If I can, if one of my mods or even if someone could get that link in the chat for us, because I want to make sure we promote that too. That's super exciting. I love that project. So you started streaming pretty much because you were watching other people play. You made your own videos and then you decided to go live. What was the transition from that pre-recorded to like what was that biggest like change? What was something different from going pre-recorded to being absolutely 100% live?
Well, the mistake that I made was I didn't watch any Twitch. I didn't know anything about Twitch. And my friend, my old roommate, was like, hey, like you should stream on Twitch. I was like, okay. Like that was literally the conversation. Like I went on Twitch like the first time I ever. And I just brought over my YouTube name. So WATCHHOLLIE was my YouTube name. And I saw like a sleep stream, and then I saw like a full body like cosplay, like a paint your whole body. I was like, yeah, this is great. Let's try it. Like that was like the process of it. And I just hit go live that day. I had my PlayStation connected to my Mac, and I hit go live, and nobody showed up, obviously. And I was like, like that was lame. And I was like, okay, what can I do? Let me start researching Twitch. And so it was really hard, but I also feel like that was kind of like an appeal to some people, because they'd be like, oh, this girl doesn't know what she's doing. Not in like a weird, like, let's educate women kind of way, but just kind of like, oh, like people like to help. And so I think that's kind of why I was bad at video games, and I like didn't know what Twitch was. There was a clip of me literally like going like pixelated cam, like I couldn't hear anything. I didn't have headphones or anything. And I'm like looking at chat, I'm like, a megalol? A megalol? I was like, I don't know what that is.
Omega lol?
Yes!
I love
oh,
that.
So yeah, it's just kind of I don't know. And it just kind of went from there.
So we have a lot of new streamers in the chat, new or growing streamers in the chat. And something that frequently comes up is the fact that you don't need a lot to start. So like you just said, you had the pixelated camera, you were just learning the culture, and you started diving into your research. So when you started just like everybody else. You know, you didn't have
Yeah.
And look at your production value now. Your lights flicker when someone follows you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like honestly, okay, the thing is that when you first start out, I feel like it's kind of okay. This is a hot take, so excuse me.
Hot take. I'm ready.
Hot take. I feel like it's kind of bad if you have this for your first ever stream, because then it's like, whoa, like why don't you have any followers? Why don't you have any viewers? Like, because if you start out like this, like yeah, maybe you'll get some clicks, but then people will be confused. And then it's like, I don't know. But that's just kind of like my hot take is that like, okay, we'll start out with nothing. Like you don't have to invest
disagree
in
with that.
anything. And then like people can like, you're like, hey, donation goal for a PC. That's what I did. I didn't excuse me, I was going to swear. I didn't have a PC. I only had a PlayStation. It was just streaming through that. And then so I had a donation goal to buy my PC, and then it like totally helped. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's amazing. So you started, was that 2 years ago? 3 years ago? When the pandemic happened? When the pandemic started?
Almost 2 years ago. So next month is going to be my 2 years.
Congratulations. That's so exciting. So over those 2 years, you found a niche, right? You found out that you like to stream late
Horror
night.
games.
You like to do the horror games. And I would say you're a variety streamer. I mean, you were just going through your ABCs of Steam, which is absolutely amazing. But how did you come to find that niche? Did you always start like I want to do horror games, or did
Mm-mm.
you kind of develop that over time?
I think it was me trying to do branding. So when I first started, I only played scary games because I loved scary games. But I was trying to be like everyone else. I'm like, oh, people say variety game streamer, and I just want to be like everyone else and not like this. I don't know, like. But I only played scary games, and so whenever anyone rated me, I was like, "Hi, like I'm a variety streamer." And everyone in chat would be like, "You only play scary games. That's not true." And I was like, it kind of made me think. I was like, "Huh, like." Why can't I be a horror game streamer? And like my issue is I didn't watch any Twitch either. Like I just kind of streamed and I would watch like a few people here and there and I would find like
Mhm.
a few people that I really enjoyed, but I didn't really like, I don't know. So I didn't know that there was like a horror community out there. And so I just kind of leaned into it. Like after a while, I just started saying horror game streamer, and it kind of like fell into my branding. I had like my zombie made. I started having my
Mhm.
panels, which were all horror, and it just kind of like went from there. And then now I feel like I've kind of gradually transitioned from horror back to variety, but I still keep that horror roots. So I don't want to change what I'm saying yet, but we'll see.
Yet, yeah. Well, that's kind of the beauty about Twitch is there is something for everybody on the platform.
Hmm.
So like you
Totally.
did, you found that niche, that horror game niche, and you love scary games. I have a feeling that'll never go away. You're probably always going to be playing it, right? But
Yeah.
as you develop and grow, everybody develops and grows. Like I said, I love that you were doing your ABCs through your Steam library where you're playing alphabetically one of those games. I
Hmm.
thought that was super awesome. So kind of going back, so we're still in that kind of early stages of, so you
Hmm.
found your niche, you started streaming, you were going live, you said every day.
Yeah, I started with every day because I figured the more I streamed, the more people could find me. And the longer I streamed, more people could come my way. And that's just not the case. That's just not true.
Hmm.
Because then you don't let people miss you, and you burn out. And
Hmm.
luckily, when I get obsessed with things, I think it's my ADHD, I full send it. And so when I was like, I stream every day, I did not take a day off. I streamed every single day for 1 year,
Oh,
every
like
single day,
Monday through Sunday, every
Monday through
day.
Sunday. Yep. And for
Whoa.
about like 6 hours, 7 hour streams. Um, and I had a great time. Like I was just having a lovely time with it.
Hmm.
And like through that process, like this is how like mental health kind of like came up. It was just like I needed someone at that time. And Twitch was my someone, my chat were my people. Um and it wasn't until like the world started opening back up again like the next year and then I met like my significant other when I realized it was like I'm going to burn out. Like I can't do that. I can't stream every day. So then that's when I started streaming 4 times a week.
You said something that I really love. By the way, your significant other is absolutely awesome. 100% amazing human being. Like, holy
Yep,
smokes.
yep.
Like, so supportive, so amazing. So
You
it's
gotta
great that you have that support structure.
yeah.
But you mentioned you don't give time for people to miss you. And I feel like that's a common grind, a common pitfall that people have, which is, oh, I'm not being seen, therefore I should stream more often and longer. But like you said, then you're bringing up more of the mental health things, which is something that you also stand for in your channel. Did you want to talk a
Mhm.
little bit more on that?
I feel like that was like a 2 question thing. Do you want me to just go
Sorry.
to mental health or
Yeah, why don't we go to the mental health, preventing
okay.
burnout, and,
Yeah.
shortening your schedule?
So, okay, yeah. I think okay, one, each streamer's like path is totally different. I know another streamer, I don't know if I can reference the usernames,
Absolutely,
but they're
100%.
okay, so CCAT Play has 300 people, 350 people average, and they've been streaming for only 3 years. So they're doing bits.
Excellent.
And they streamed 12-hour days every single day. And they did that forever. And they still pretty much do that now. There's no set schedule. They stream long hours and they're doing great. So it's like, yeah, if you can do that, then do whatever fits for you. For me, couldn't do that. So I liked the every single day, but then I was starting to feel the burnout. Like I anticipated it. I was like, I can't, because I now have a job. Like I now have like all these things. I have my dog. I had recently adopted a cat, and it was just like life was becoming too much. And so I think
Mhm.
the trick is to catch the burnout before it happens, anticipate it. Thanks for the follows, guys. It's nice I can tell. I should have disconnected it. I didn't even think about it.
No, 100%, keep it
So
on.
yeah, so that was that's kind of like, for me, like I was able to catch it beforehand. And that way, like if you stream, for me, if you stream every single day, people are like, oh, well, I don't have to like watch Holly stream today because I'll just catch her tomorrow. But now it's like there's these treasured like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, which still kind of has that same mentality. If you miss Saturday, you can catch me on Sunday, which you miss Sunday, you can catch me on Monday, right? So it does still have that, but I don't like, that's
But if
my
you
personal
miss
preference.
Tuesday, God
Yeah,
forbid.
you're effed. Yeah, so I don't know. And then, so moving on to mental health awareness, I think, so when I started streaming, it was the pandemic, right? And it was really hard. Like, obviously we all went through it. We all coped in our certain way. And for me, that was through streams and connecting with people. And when I started, I had my family and I had my friends. I bugged literally every single person that I knew on this planet to follow me. And that's how I got 50 followers and the average of 3 viewers. One of them was also myself on my Mac on a different account. Like, like that's how I did it.
That's how we start.
So yeah, and the more just like pandemic went on, like also my sexuality came more into play as well too, where I was dating women, or I dated a woman like for the first time, and that was like through Twitch. And we broke up, and that like crushed me. And I think like mental health awareness became such a big part of my community when I was depressed and I like couldn't get out of bed, and it was like so bad, but I got out of bed for Twitch, and like everyone in my chat was like there for me, and I was like, oh my god, like to be completely without the world, for Twitch to still be there, like. And that, I feel like, what really changed, because I started opening up and I started talking about my personal life, because I only thought of like, oh, I'm in entertainment, I have to be happy all the time, like, because the goal was to like make everyone else forget about their troubles, not worry about mine. But that's not how Twitch is, because I didn't watch Twitch beforehand, so I really struggled figuring out what it was, I guess. So that's when I started like watching other people's streams and like really learning and understanding, and hey, let's talk about this. Like, let's talk about like mental health. Are you okay? Let me actually be real. And I think that's what people really resonate with my channel, is that I'm real. And if I cry, it's like 100%, like they know it's like from my heart. Or if I laugh, it's 100% from my heart. So I think that's where, and it took a while. It took a kind of a long time. And I think that's why like my numbers struggled just a little bit. So,
but now as somebody that's actively part of your community, I can honestly say you have one of the most wholesome, caring, supportive communities out there, right? Like, it is very real, and you know, a huge shout out to the whole community you've developed. I think you put together something really amazing. So I guess kind of the final bit of this little section here is, what did you want out of streaming then? Not necessarily what you want now. So you've developed this community, you've raised mental health awareness and all that. Was that something you were seeking when you started? Or like, what did you want out of streaming? Was it mostly just fun? Did you want to be partner? Was that the goal?
Yeah. Yeah, the goal was always partner. The goal was, I went into the mentality of, let me be Markiplier. Let me be, I didn't even know who Pokimane was, but once I figured out who she was, I was like, let me be Pokimane.
Amazing.
And that's not what you should do, because your eyes are set on something that's so out of your control, and you are not focusing on what really matters, which is a community. And so that was just the beginning. It was just like, okay, monetize my stream as much as possible, like let's do this full time. And that's wrong. Like, and well, I mean, I don't want to say it's wrong, because people can do whatever they want, to each their own. That was wrong for what I wanted.
It was wrong for what, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that, yeah, I guess to answer your question, that was my goal, is just to become a famous streamer. And that's,
and then instead the byproduct that you have is, now you have, when you are partnered, you made it, which is amazing.
Yeah, well, it's interesting what made it means, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you made it to partner. So you achieved that goal, and you also, that byproduct was that you have this awesome, like, just well-rounded, supportive community. So kind of going in, kind of moving a little bit forward here. So you are obviously a woman on Twitch. and there is a lot
Yeah.
of adversities that happen that you have to overcome as a woman, because there is like this awful belief where it's like, oh, you're a pretty lady, therefore people will just follow you, right? But then you also have to deal with all the creepers and then, everything else. So what was that like? So if a new streamer, a new woman streamer is coming to Twitch, what are some things not to expect but to prepare for?
Yeah, I think for one, you have to figure out why you're on Twitch. And for me, was I going to use my looks as a platform, as a way for success? Or was I going to try not to? I feel like that's kind of like just the initial start out. Like, what do you want to put your footstep for? Whatever. What? Huh? Words?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to go on Twitch, and if you naturally dress with a low cut shirt with lots of makeup and that's who you are, and like perfect, know that people are going to see that. For me, I don't naturally do that. Like, you see the way I dress, I don't have a lot of makeup. This is just me. But also there is this pressure of posting on social media. You'll see other women post content that's not necessarily, I would say, wholesome. And I was like, should I do that? Is that how you do it? And I'm like, no, that's not my morals. That's not who I am. That goes against my stream, or just like what I want my stream to be. And I don't want success based off of what I look like. And so I made rules in my stream that you don't talk about my looks. You don't call me pet names. And yeah, those are the like first two. We have other rules, but yeah, those are the first two that like relate to being a woman on Twitch. And you also have to realize that you'll see some of these men streamers that will twerk or dance or do squats and have all these things, and I can't do that because I'm a woman and I have boobs and I have a butt, and for some reason that is completely different if I squat or if I jump than if a man like squats or twerks or do whatever. It's completely sexualized when I do it. So it limits me of what I can do to put on a quote unquote show. So I guess it's like, yeah, whatever you want, like figure out your morals and then go from there. Know that we are limited in a lot of ways unless we want to get hate. And even though I dress like this, I still get hate, and I still get people that just come on and just are assholes. But I mean, you gotta have thick skin. You gotta have you
and
really
not to
do.
pry too hard, so feel free to deflect this
Yeah.
if we want. Like, what kind of
Okay.
hate do you see? Like, what it can?
Oh my god.
Like, I'm sure it's everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can imagine it.
Well,
But
yeah. I mean, especially like a flag in the back too doesn't necessarily help, and well, help. And like I have like LGBTQ and lesbian tags as well too. So I'm being vulnerable and I'm putting myself out there, and people will come on and just, yeah, they'll say like horrible, nasty words. They've tried to insult me through my looks, tried to insult me through just like get back in the kitchen, like do like all this stuff that's just like completely normal. But then sometimes it's like, I think the worst ones is like women shouldn't be on this platform, or you think you're funny, or you think like you get followers because of your personality or whatever. And I'll even have like some streamer friends that don't know it, but they will say like, oh well, I'm not pretty, so I can't get those clicks, like the initial clicks, like they can't click on my channel because I'm not a pretty. I'm like, you completely invalidate in everything that I do when you say stuff like that. So yeah.
Which
I don't think I can.
You
like,
are an
say
amazing
word for word
streamer.
anymore.
Right, like you're an absolutely wonderful streamer. You're like
Thank
we've
you.
talked about. You've created an amazing supportive community, like we've said, that is completely outside of like if you weren't a woman, like it's just, it's it's amazing regardless, right? But
Thank you.
I'm sure because that's something that I would never be able to speak on. I'm obviously a bearded white male on Twitch, right? Like I am the dominant platform aesthetic, if you will, as of right now. So it's always I'm always very curious to see, and I don't want to pressure you too hard on it. Like we don't have to talk too deep on it.
No, I mean,
It's
it's
like,
okay.
what would you recommend to that new streamer that doesn't feel like they're pretty enough, that doesn't feel like they can fit that mold of the amaranth or the
Right,
e-girl
right, 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 right.
aesthetic?
Well, I don't think I necessarily fit that aesthetic either, but so one, people are nasty no matter what. So if you put your face on a screen, there is gonna get hate, even if you are Amaranth or Pokimane or the most beautiful women or men like ever. Like you are gonna get hate, and that's just how the internet works. The smaller you are, I think the more hate you get. The bigger I have been, the less hate I experience because trolls get scared off by that number. Um, so one, you don't have to put your face on the screen. PNGs, like VTubers are like
Mm-hmm.
huge now. So if you are nervous about it, then don't do it. Like you don't need a webcam. Like you can make a great production and have great production value on your stream if even if you don't see the person. I think what's great about me is that what's great about me, what's
What's
great
great
about my
about me?
streams is my facial expressions. And that's kind of like my whole thing is that when I played horror games, I would scream, I would be scared, I would jump, do all those things, and I felt like you needed a camera in order to see that. But you don't know, no one has to do that. So yeah.
And the trolls will always be on the internet. You also have an amazing mod team. This might be
Yeah.
something to bring up on this, is using those tools. I know that when I had Ribs Torino on the first episode of this podcast, we talked a little bit about using those tools. And just because somebody follows, just because somebody comments, you don't owe them anything.
Mateo, you lied to me!
Oh no, my sound alerts. I thought that I turned this off. I am so sorry.
I can't hear it. It's fine.
Okay, good. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that. Like I've seen chats pop into your chat and get deleted without being able to even read it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
just wanted to mention that part.
Yeah, I mean, like having a mod team is great, and when you first start out, you don't have that. And for me, I modded everyone that showed up that had a okay vibe because I was so nervous. So I had like 20 mods, just hoping that someone would be there when anything like that happened. And it didn't always happen. And you will get, I was the only one in chat. Someone would say some nasty things, and I have to figure out how to delete the message. I didn't know what I was doing, like, and I had to try and like act like everything was okay. And it's hard. It is hard. But it gets better. I don't know if that is helpful at all, but it has gotten better. And I have set up the stream where now I have a mod, not only one mod, two mods in case the first mod doesn't catch it. To not only protect me but also protect the community. Yeah, so
huge shout out to WATCHHOLLIE's bot team. You're amazing.
Seriously.
You're so amazing. But just to kind of well, Steven, for those who don't know, we do have Steven, our moderator in chat, that's keeping an eye out on chat. Do we have any questions up until this point, or can we continue?
Your timing is impeccable because Fox actually did just ask a question.
Fo. Her name's Fo.
Fo, my bad. He asked, have you had to unmod people and how did you approach that?
That's a great
Unmodding
question.
people is so hard. It's so difficult to do. And it's not something that I anticipated that would have been a big deal. For me, the first time I did it untastefully because I didn't realize how much it meant to people for VIPs and for swords. Because remember, I started out not watching Twitch. I never had either of those. It didn't matter to me. It was just like a badge, and if they weren't there anyway, I didn't think it mattered. It does. It does. And so the first time I did it, I had like 20, what did I say? 20, 25 people as mods. And I was like, I'm going to actually have a mod team now. And I unmodded everyone. And people got upset. People got so upset about it. And I was like, yo, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize it would be a big deal. And so that was like a slap in the face of like when people have that, it's a flex in the community. They're important. And if you take it away without even freaking telling them, like they're going to be upset, which now I know. Right. And so I have had to take away VIPs and take away mod swords now, but not necessarily because like they didn't deserve it, but just like life has happened and they've whatever. And so yeah, so it's just communicating. I think for me is like, hey, like you're never around. I would say this better, but like you're never around stream. Like what's up? Like are you gonna have the sword or are you not gonna have the sword? Like that'd be kind of it. Because for me, I set up specifically, each mod has 1 day because I only stream 4 days. So I need 4 mods for each separate day. And then I want a backup. So that's 8 mods. So I need a minimum of 8.
Less than 25.
Less than 25. Yeah. And now I have 11 for other reasons, but it doesn't matter. So yeah. So just communicating with them and like being just really gentle and making them give up the sword than you saying I'm taking your sword away. VIPs are a little bit tricky. For me, I fortunately I've set it up where I change my VIPs every single month because I saw how people fight for it and will die for a VIP. And it just seemed like an unnecessary problem that shouldn't even be a problem. Because now I have more VIP slots, but before when I first started out, what was that 2 years ago? It was very small. It was only like 25 VIPs,
yeah.
right?
I think you started like 10.
Was it 10? Okay, so
I could be wrong.
Okay, I think you're right. Okay. So it was like 10. Now I have 60, so I have a lot because I'm partnered, which is crazy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It just seemed like people would fight over it unnecessarily. So I made it so it changes every single month, and it's something that you work towards, and then it will change. So don't get too attached to it. But you could get again. Don't worry. So it's like a reward-based thing now.
So I just to piggyback on Fo's question, I just think it is an interesting question. I haven't necessarily had to deal with that. What if you did have a mod that was misbehaving and abusing that power? Yeah. How would you approach that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had like VIP in that month do that. And luckily I was just like, well, your VIP is going away at the end of the month. Anyway. For me, I think I always do a trial period for 2 weeks. Excuse me. And see how they act. Like we don't like accept people into the mod position unless we like fully trust them already. So, and then we have a 2-week period and just see how they are. We've had someone come in and just like, we trusted them because they were there a lot, but as soon as they were mod, they like never showed up, and we're like, you had 2 weeks. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't think like this is going to work out. You only had to show up two days of those 2 weeks. And they're like, yeah, sorry. So I guess that's the extent of how like a trouble mod was that I had to take a sword away. But if it was actual trouble, I mean, like we are so real. We've had to kick like OGs out of our community because it doesn't even matter why. Yeah, so and that's a hard thing to do, but to set it up as, hey, we are protecting our community and we're protecting you're in a queer space, you're in a minority, like especially just like with everything, like I have like invisible disabilities, like I have like all of that stuff, and if you're going to like bring us down, you're not welcome. And we've had to do that before, and that's a hard thing to do. But if you don't do it, if you don't ban people, and if you don't be honest and communicate, then other people like that are going to come into your stream and they're going to make it toxic because you want their view. So
being communicative, being
Being
like
honest.
being honest with yourself, having those rules as established rules, right? I think that was great. That was a great question, Fo. Thank you for bringing that up. I've never personally had to deal with that yet, so that's new to me too. I was like, wait, that's a good point. But
Yeah.
you mentioned partner 60 VIP slots. Your partner, congratulations again. I will not
Thank
stop
you.
congratulating you. I'm so freaking excited
Thank
for you.
you.
So when did
Thanks.
it become real? When did it become, hey, this is attainable? We're right there. Let's push
Yeah.
for it. What made you just go all in? I know you planned on being partner from when you started, but what made you do that big push and know that it was like
Yeah.
achievable at that point?
Yeah. So if you look at my stats throughout my entire career, it's been up and to the right. So it's been growing steadily.
Mhm.
And it feels at that time that I like didn't grow at all. Like it just felt like, cause getting like 4 more average viewers the next month doesn't feel like a lot. So it feels like it's stagnant, but it is slowly growing. So the
Mhm.
whole time I was just slowly growing and just slowly getting to the average of 75. And the way Twitch works is you hit the average of 75 before you hit the requirements. It doesn't matter what it is. But I had hit the average of 75, but I just didn't hit the requirements of 75 for Twitch. It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense at the same time. So once that happened, I was kind of like, okay, like let's go, let's do this. What can I do? And I didn't want to say push for partner because like I was at like an average of like 30, 40, 50 for a long time. And it wasn't until October of 2021, so just only a few months ago, that I was really hitting like the 70 average. And I applied to partner when I was at an average of exactly 75.
Mhm.
But that's their stats. For other stats, I was at like a 95 average. So I was pretty like high above, I guess. It was just like they don't count raids or hosts or anything like that. So
Yeah. I
that's
think that was
the
something
tricky
your
part.
mod team mentioned, like, because we were obviously rating you in that time as well.
Yeah.
Of not, it wasn't refreshing the page; it was actually having to click on your name again to get rid of that
The raid
raid
URL. Yeah.
URL so that it actually counted. So I mean,
Yeah.
so October you started to feel that you didn't call it the whole time. You didn't call it a push for partner at all.
No.
Um.
No. So I feel like I very much so call myself a businesswoman that fosters like a family and something. But I'm very much number based. I'm very much so I have a plan and how am I going to do this and just go from there. So for me, I didn't want to say push to partner because what happens is that people get hype for you and they raid you and they host you and they do all these things. I didn't need any more raids. I was at my top limit. They auto deny you if you're at an average of 20+% of raids. I was at 18%. And so I almost turned off my raid
Oh wow.
like option because I was going to get denied. And so I was like, okay, no more raids. I just need hype. Like I need just people to come in out of their own accord and I'll raid every once in a while, but not too much. And I didn't want my raid percentage to go up anymore. And I didn't want the hype to start too soon. I wanted the hype to start at an average of 70 freaking 4 because I was going to hold that, right? Because if you start too early, people's love for you, I'm so sorry, will decrease because they're like, oh, well, I did that for 2 weeks. That should be good enough. And then they stop just because that's how humans are. That's how I am too. Well, I mean, I try and show the love as 24/7 all the time, but like it's people forget, people move on, people hype up another person and stuff. So, did someone just change this to? Okay, never mind. Okay, so I got distracted because I thought someone changed my lights to
Yeah,
completely
no
purple,
worries.
but
So you were saying how
yeah,
if you started the hype
okay,
too early, it would start
right.
the decrease over time.
Right. So yeah, so I started it when it was an average of my rate average was like 95 and my Twitch average was 74. And that's when I started pushing to partner. That's when I started making a sound alert so people can like hear it. I don't think I ever put it in my title actually, because I didn't want to be too like, ugh, I don't know. I still wanted it to be kind of natural, but my gosh, I posted on Twitter, I posted it on Instagram, I told my community, like, and everyone started like picking up because of that.
Mhm.
When I hit the raid, oh my god, my mods are trolling me. They are changing my lights. I thought I was going crazy. Okay. So when mods, my mods are trolling me. So
They have
after
too much
that,
power. Too much
I
power.
So yeah, so when I started telling people, the hype started coming in, and I only needed one average viewer, and that meant for one stream I needed an average of 94, which is a lot more than 75. So I needed an average of 94 people to bring my jump up for one. And I made it that day, and I applied immediately. That like the little next day I applied, but I didn't tell anyone about it. I told them that I was going to apply in 2 weeks. To show Twitch I can maintain that average. I lied. It was a lie.
It was a lie?
It was a lie. Because I wanted the hype to stay, because I did the push to partner, and I was like, people's max is going to be 2 weeks of hype for me and nothing else. And so I wanted the 2 weeks for push to partner to be when I had already applied, so people are still really excited for me. And then I was going to hype them up again after 2 weeks and say I applied, even though that's a lie.
You're giving out you're giving it all up right now.
I already told my community. Everyone knows. I let them know afterwards.
But like you said,
really
first and
sneaky.
foremost, you're a businesswoman, and I think that that's actually a very well thought out business plan for that situation, because there's so many people that get the requirements that apply and actually get denied because you know that application, yes, they met that bare minimum, but that's not necessarily enough. That's for that minimum is enough for you to apply. And that's it. So I think honestly, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I was expecting to get denied the first time because that's what everyone said. And so I was gonna do, which if you get denied, you have to wait 2 weeks until you reapply, and then it takes up to 4 weeks. So the goal was, 4 weeks of when you apply to hear back, 2 weeks to wait, and then 4 weeks again. That's 10 weeks. Right?
Wow.
Of hype for push to partner. That's too long. And so that's why I waited until 2 weeks later to say I applied, and I was going to hear back in 2 weeks, technically, right? For it to get to the deny. And I didn't know if I was going to tell people I got denied or not, but I said I'm going to apply, and literally 3 days later I got the acceptance.
That's amazing.
It only took them it only took them 3 weeks to get back to me. But yeah. Anyway, so
congratulations.
That was my plan. Yeah, thank you.
That's actually some good insight that I think that, I mean, I didn't really know that either. There is a whole like other side of it, the business side of what it takes to be partner, because when you become partner, you're a business partner with Twitch, you know?
Yeah.
So
and
there is that.
My essay was such that, because I reached out to like 10 partner streamers, and I was like, what did you do? How did you do it? How many times did it take you? Because I was so nervous. I was like I was at this point straight up not having a good time, and Maggie can attest to that, and all my mods could attest to it. I was grumpy. If a stream didn't go well, I was like upset. When I say go well, it was numbers, and it was just like so unfortunate that, and I even made a tweet about it. It was like, goals suck if you don't meet them. Right? And there was a point where my internet crashed and I lost all of my viewers. I got back down to 40 when I was at a good average, and I was like, I have to wait out because this will bring down my average, and I rated out, which is so stupid and so sad that it had to be like that. But anyway, what was I saying?
Steven, what were we saying?
Goals suck. Writing that down. Write that down.
Writing down goals suck. Maybe let's tackle that a little bit.
Well, actually, because we are about 45 minutes into the podcast, there's one more big thing I have for you. No worries. We could go a little later. I don't mind. Partner, you even said it a little bit. You alluded to it at the very beginning of the podcast. Partner doesn't mean you made it. Partner
Yeah.
is more of just the beginning of a new chapter for you, right? So
Mhm.
what is, now that you are partner, what does that mean? What is this the beginning of, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, I think so far I have seen two different types of people that when they make partner, what they do with it. The first one is like, "Whew, all right, I'm done. And then they lose viewers, and or there's that, it's called after partner dip,
Mm-hmm.
where your viewers do go down, and they just become complacent and they don't do anything different. I've also seen partners do, they're like, okay, let's go. Like, all right, what else? What else can we do? And I'm definitely the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fire lit inside of me. And I'm like, okay, what else? What else can I do? Like you saw the lights. I don't know if you can see the green screen. I don't think you can. But
It's
there's this
cropped
green
in right
screen.
now.
Like, okay, good. Because it'd just be green. Yeah, and I'm doing my YouTube. I'm like, okay, YouTube partner. That's the next goal. Like, see if I can do that. Next goal, Discord partner. All right. Next goal, post on Instagram Reels, post 2 times a day on TikTok. Like, I am so ready, and the amount of like work that I've been put into this is absolutely crazy. So I don't want it to stop. I haven't experienced the partner after partner dip yet. That's when people are like, yay, she made it. I don't have to come on anymore. I don't have to give you that lurk. And I'm trying to hold on to that. I'm like, okay, what else can I do? What else? Let's make this more exciting. And I just want to go from there.
So it's a huge focus on content.
It's a huge focus on content.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge focus on just like unique, new, why am I worth your time? And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the hardest part. And I've been grappling with this like since I made it. It's like, if I go to a Twitch representative, which I was lucky enough to meet one the other day and talk with them, and Maggie was there, and I was like, why am I different? What makes us any at all different? I'm a wholesome streamer that's excitable, and I don't play games very well. How many streamers do you hear that come out of their mouth? So that's what I'm trying to figure out, and something that I urge you to figure out as well too, Kerb. Like, what makes you different, like so unique that people will invest money into you? Because that's
So
what's
providing
next.
value, right?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
what is your value thing? No, that makes sense. It is probably something that is probably better to start thinking about early than later, right?
Mhm.
But you're doing a wonderful job. Like you said, you just interviewed 70 freaking streamers for your first season of your own podcast that's hosted on YouTube. Again, Mateo, can you get another link in the chat for me for that? For Hollie's YouTube channel, which is so amazing. It's so freaking amazing, and I've only had the opportunity to watch the first episode. When did the second one already drop?
It
What's the
drops every
release
single
schedule?
day. Every single day at
I'm
5 p.m.
behind.
is a new one.
I'm behind. Oh my
You are, sir.
Lord.
I know you know Cozy Kara though, but hers
Oh,
I
love
think
Kara.
releases either today or tomorrow. I forget which day.
Well, absolutely gonna have to check that out. 100%. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come hang out with us today. I
my
did want
God,
to
yes,
open
of
up the
course.
last 10 minutes to see if there was any questions from the community, or if anybody had any last minute questions for you. Hopefully staying close to the topics at hand today. So, Steven, I'm gonna open up the chat here. Was there anything written down for us?
Hey, questions were pretty light today, so not much. I know Mateo did have a quick question saying, how do we convince Kerb to let me control his lights?
Oh, oh no. Well, we saw during the podcast what happened to Holly when mods had so much freaking power.
You can turn it off. You can. I just didn't think about it. I didn't think it'd be an issue.
That's amazing. I mean, I also forgot to turn off my sound alerts, so I'm not doing too better. Well, I mean, if we don't have that many more questions, is there anything else that you want to tell everybody here, Holly, before we start wrapping things up?
I don't know.
With
In
the idea that
relation,
it is a this is geared towards newer and growing streamers. Like one, I think you brought up a lot of really good things. You came into it and you came in with the headset of being wholesome, sticking to your morals. You wouldn't let the trolls get in. I'm just trying to kind of recap here.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I
you're
think
amazing.
just kind of like I think out of just like why people watch me is because I'm real and I'm honest. And I think that's if you're starting to stream, just be real, just be who you are. Which if 100 people are watching you, you're gonna act a little bit different, right? If you're like 100 people are in front of you and you're on a stage, like you're gonna be a little bit nervous. You're maybe gonna increase your excitability, cranking it to 11. But ultimately, you are gonna stay true to yourself. So just do that, I guess, because then that's people will gravitate towards you. If you think that it's just like you slouch in your chair, not talking and playing the game is what's going to get you views, like that's not the way it goes. You are an entertainer, you are selling a product, and you have to make it worth, even if people aren't buying it, because views are free and follows are free. But let alone to get a sub, they are literally buying your product and you have to make it worth it. So why would you yourself buy your own product? You have to figure that out. So that's mine.
I think it's a great takeaway. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for coming and being our honored guest on this podcast. I think that was very insightful. You had a lot of really, really good takes, and even your hot take I don't think was too hot.
Oh, thank you.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. You have a wonderful rest of your day, Holly. I'm gonna switch over to our other screen, and thank you so much for being my guest. I really, really do appreciate it. Please, friends, go follow Holly. Go check her out.
Thanks, guys. Chat was amazing.
Absolutely 100% worth your time. You should be checking out Watch Holly. I'm gonna just go over to our end screen here. Bye, Holly.
Bye.
All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on our second ever episode of the KerbKast. Again, Holly, 100% amazing human being you should be checking out, especially if you're into horror games or just wholesome communities. You are all so great. Steven, thank you for being our moderator today. We are actually going to be wrapping up real quick because today is also the start of our sub-anniversary, our 1-year anniversary on Twitch. So I got to go get prepared for that. That starts in about an hour. Thank you for posting all of Holly's socials. Holly, you're amazing. And friends, have a good rest of your day. We do this once a month. Our next guests are all lined up. I'm excited to start sharing them with you, and we will talk very soon. Bye, friends.